Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the round review. This time we're reviewing round 15, which was another round of minimal matches because of the buys. Now, there won't be a Richmond review this week because obviously my team did not play. Thankfully, I had a week off heartbreak or anything like that. But speaking of heartbreak, we'll get into the North Melbourne result a little bit later. Starting off, we had the Carlton Football Club dominate Geelong by 63 points, 138 to 75. It was accuracy, skill at its finest. It was a midfield domination. Patrick Cripps was on fire. Walsh was on fire. We all know the DeConing battles. You know, Sam won some. It was, and then Tom won some, obviously, as well. It was really interesting. I thought the storyline was probably revolved around the two brothers, just because there were some chons here and there. It was a funny watch, but ultimately it was a boring watch because Carlton were the best team throughout the whole entire match. It was domination. It was a reminder that that both these teams are in severely different stages, albeit the latter position they are in is only separated by 2 wins. It really is more than that. Carlton are in 2nd place, Geelong are in 7th place. If Geelong hold on to the 8, I'll be impressed. The form they're in now, they've lost like 7 of the last 8. It's been horrible. And to be honest, the fact they've let Patrick Cripps get 41 touches, Walsh 33 and a goal, Kennedy 31 and a goal, DeConing in the ruck 25 touches and dominated hitouts 34 to his brother DeConing's 20 hitouts. It's a problem for Geelong. It's a real problem because they have good midfielders, Myers, they have the likes of Max Holmes as well, but that is not a midfield that is good enough to earn you a position on the ladder in the top 4. It was a poor performance, and to be honest, it was once again the same story with Carlton. It was Curnow kicking 5, it was Mackay kicking 3, even Tagger, Chinchota, or however pronounce that fucker's name, he got 2 goals as well. So it was just domination from Carlton's point of view, and they looked like they're 2nd or 3rd seed in the flag hunt right now. Speaking of in the flag hunt, we've got a team who are well and truly in the flag hunt. Now they are out the gate in 10th place right now, but fuck me, the win they had against Port Adelaide, and I'm talking about the Brisbane Lions here, away from home, and I predicted this. I'll go through my tips. I tipped Carlton to win. I also tipped the Lions away from home to get an upset win, and they did. 79-point victors, 79 to 152. It does not read well, and it was not looking good, Brev. In that second quarter, Brisbane said, "Suck my dick," and they sucked it well and truly. I'm not sure the analogies I'm using here, but nonetheless, it was so poor. Port Adelaide were in their Guernsey that commemorated their 2004 grand final win, and they didn't turn up. The talking point of this match is the boos, the Ken Hinkley boos. You could hear it on the TV, and obviously after the match there was a lot talked about it. It is just awful. Now, Ken Hinkley I don't think is a great coach, but the fact of the matter is he's been a good servant for your club for so long. This is a one-off loss. Port Adelaide, with the injuries they've had, they're still in 8th place, equal on points with 6th place, and Brisbane are on fire. Now, it's not acceptable, but the result's not acceptable. The booing's not acceptable. And overall, it's not looking good for Port Adelaide. The morale between the fans and the coach and the team is clearly out of sync, which I think is a big problem, particularly for teams who aren't going to win the flag. You at least want something like synergy to work. Brisbane were just absolutely phenomenal. Lachie Neale back to Brownlow winning form, 37 touches. Big O dominated with hitouts, and he dominated with goals, 3 goals. To Jordan Sweet's none, so he really struggled there, Sweet. He hit some weird amount of form, kicking 5 goals, another bag for him. I don't know where that's come from, it's quite bizarre. And then for Port Adelaide, it was only Zach Butters who stood up. I think once again, Butters, Rosie and Horne-Francis worked well together, but if you're looking at the overall midfield numbers, team for team, Brisbane 42 to 27, dominated clearance. They were just much better. If we look at the possessions as well, if I get this up, here we go. Brisbane 151 beat Port Adelaide's 111 contested possessions. So the midfield battle was well and truly won by Brisbane. We'll move on to a game that was disappointing because I tipped the Giants to win, but Sydney won by a pretty easy 27 points. And it probably should have been a little bit more. They sort of gave up in that last quarter, a potential very good comeback for the Giants, but they didn't quite do it, and they lose by that 27 points, and the Giants now slip all the way out of the top four. Not they were in beforehand, but they're in 6th place, equal on points with Melbourne, who were in 9th place. So they've got to start getting wins, and quick, because they can't get before in these home losses. Now, obviously Sydney are the team to beat right now, and I thought they would do it, but they didn't. And it was thanks to Errol Goulden with a goal, 41 touches, nearly 1,000 metres gained, 973 metres gained. He was on fire. Even though the likes of Tom Green I thought had a good game, it was pretty much Goulden. We can talk about the normals as well, but Goulden I thought was the man of the moment, and that's really all you have to say. Sydney are just too good, and they're easily on top of the ladder. Carlton in 2nd place are 3 wins behind Sydney. It's remarkable, it's domination, and if they keep going like this, can anyone beat them this season? Only Richmond have beaten so far. I'm pretty proud of that, but they seem to be unbeatable. The team that is beatable is North Melbourne and Melbourne. Both teams are coming off different form. I would say North Melbourne are in decent form, Melbourne in horrific form, but the quality of Melbourne ultimately prevailed. It was looking dodgy. North Melbourne made a late comeback, and they should have won. They should have won again, but they just can't. Both 2 weeks in a row, it's heartbreak for North because they can't win those close. They don't play well enough in the final 2 minutes of a game when the pressure's high. It's the experience that prevails usually, and Melbourne obviously have that experience, and North Melbourne don't, which is why we saw Melbourne win, and it's annoyed me because I want Melbourne to lose. Fuck Melbourne. The Melbourne in 9th place. North are dwindling still in last, but they should have won at least one of the last 2, and they haven't. Sheasel was great. That goal from Trent Rivers was awesome. The ruck battle was really interesting because I think both Ajeri and Gawn have been best rucks in the comp this season, but Melbourne, even though you get the win, it was so ugly, and I think they're going to slip out of the top 10, which is not looking good for them. The next game we'll move on swiftly from, it was Essendon West Coast, 30-point victors to Essendon. It was never really looking doubtly, whatever the word is. It was never, a case of, they might not win here. Stringer was on fire with his 5 goals. Waterman continues to impress. And how about the unsung heroes of, I thought Laverty was great, Caldwell was great. Durham continues a good season. It was a good win for Essendon, and they find themselves cemented in that top 4 in 3rd place on 38 points with a positive percentage of 102.7. Final game, Fremantle taking on the Gold Coast Football Club. This was frustrating because I tipped the Suns, I knew they had it, but I didn't take into consideration that they can't win away from home. It's a hoodoo they have to get over. They want to make the 8 because it's just never going to work. You can only win at home. Brayshaw was probably BOG for Fremantle, even though I thought Gold Coast matched them pretty well in the midfield battle. It was the efficiency, I thought, of Fremantle that won it for them. And there's just something about Gold Coast I don't know how you overcome this, but they cannot win away from home. The big talking point is the injury to Alex Pearce. If he's injured for the season, I don't think Fremantle make the 8. Ultimately, poor performance from the Suns. Fremantle are in 5th place. Wow, never thought I would say that in my life. And for Gold Coast, they slipped down to 12th. So, and that's what I thought Gold Coast would finish around 13th, 14th, 12th. And they might finish there. That's the round 15. No more buys. Thankfully, everyone's on 14 points now. Thank fuck. Let's keep it that way, AFL. No more stupid buys. And speaking of buys,